Welcome back to LimQ Plus, everyone. On this channel, I'm 100%ing Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until the sequel Tears of the Kingdom comes out, which is today in 95 days. It's also Sunday, and we are getting to the week of the next Rumored Direct. A lot of people seem to be more confident in that prediction now. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. Would be awesome, but let's just wait and see. I want to talk about a mod idea today. The reason I want to talk about this mod idea is because I've seriously started considering commissioning it. I am personally very unexperienced when it comes to creating mods. I have played several Breath of the Wild mods on emulator, from things like complete overhauls to the randomizer mod that was made, and Relics of the Past, some of the more popular mods. I haven't actually played the multiplayer mod yet. I think there's actually two versions of it, one of which PointCrow was working on. That's gonna be, as far as I know, hitting a public release soon. I definitely have some ideas with that that I want to do on stream at least. And yeah, basically, the mod I want to talk about today, and I kind of wanted to ask people if they would be interested in getting their hands on this themselves, because it would be a very strange mod in the sense that it would feature gameplay that Breath of the Wild usually isn't very much known for. But let me start to explain where this mod idea originated. It's kind of a mix between speedrunning and a specific challenge that exists on speedrun.com. That specific challenge on speedrun.com is called the Hyrule Bike Challenge. I'm opening my map up for this one. The Hyrule Bike Challenge is essentially a set-in-stone track that the community decided on that has you ride around Hyrule on the motorbike that you get from the DLC, the Epioneer Zero, or I don't even know the English name right now. Epioneer Zero, I think, is the German name, and technically also the Japanese name. The Master Cycle Zero. Essentially, it takes you throughout Hyrule up into Akkala, then you actually teleport down here and make your way into Lurline, and I think you start here and end your journey here. It's something like that. There's basically a track that the community decided on. I think that's pretty cool. It features gameplay that otherwise you would never really see in speedruns, because the only speedruns that ever even get the motorbike usually end when you get the motorbike. For example, the DLC 100% run literally ends the second you defeat Monk Moscotia, and even quests like All Main Quest Extended, which also fights the monk, gets the motorcycle and then goes to Hyrule Castle, defeating Ganon. The only time you can technically use the motorcycle in that speedrun is when you fight Dark Beast Ganon. Obviously, with the glitches that we have available in speedrunning, the motorbike isn't necessarily powerful. We can obviously wind bomb around, but it's still fun, and that challenge is basically features gameplay that you don't usually see in Breath of the Wild. It's kind of fun to optimize driving with the motorcycle, kind of like a Mario Kart, I guess, Breath of the Wild kart speedrun. Now, there's two problems with this challenge. First of all, it is a little bit wacky in the sense that the ruling isn't super set in stone. There's no specific ruling on taking too much of a shortcut. It's kind of a weird category in the sense that it's a very arbitrary goal, right? There's this track, and it's follow this track and drive it as fast as possible with the motorcycle. You can go to speedrun.com right now to technically check out what that track is like. Another issue with the speedrun is that right now in Akkala you actually teleport. So you go there with the motorcycle and you teleport away. That just feels wrong. That doesn't feel like a racetrack at all. It just feels arbitrary and weird. And last but not least, the two biggest problems are, in my opinion, that you do not actually go across all of Hyrule, because you are not allowed to use the motorbike on Death Mountain. The game simply doesn't let you, and you are not allowed to drive in the Gerudo Desert. Now, the idea of this mod is pretty simple. What if we made a mod that does make it possible to use your motorbike in Eldin and in the Gerudo Desert? And what if we made a mod that basically built a track around Hyrule Castle, not Hyrule Castle, sorry, the entire map of Hyrule, from Hebra into Eldin, around Akkala, through Zora's Domain, basically literally building a track around Hyrule, having the motorcycle available. I mean, you could make it so that you have the motorcycle available, or it could be something like the Trial of the Sword. I think one of the easiest ways to make a mod like this is to basically copy the overworld of Hyrule, enter the Trial of the Sword, and then you are suddenly on the racetrack. And then last but not least, one cool feature to for a mod like this would be using the in-game timer. There's already an in-game timer for some areas, usually one that runs backwards, right? Think about the flight range, I think. But for example, here in the Highland stable on the horse parkour, there's already an in-game timer in place that simply counts up. So the idea is you have the in-game timer, you have your track across Hyrule, and you get to drive around it with the timer active and try to drive as quickly as possible. An alternative thing that I was thinking about is not even have a track preset, but instead basically make the mod that this would be easier for actually creating the mod. Make it so that the mod only makes it so that you can drive in the Gerudo Desert and also in Eldin, and then basically create your own track, maybe through the canyon here. That's obviously the easier version. It would just make it so that it might get a little bit more confusing when it comes to things like shortcuts, right? Like, do you have to constantly stay on track? Another thing, actually, that I was thinking about for this is something called race completion. Some of the old Mario Kart games have this race completion track. I don't know. I don't know much about modding. I just wanted to kind of rant about this idea to think if I'm actually going to go through with it and try and commission it, because I think it could make for a cool YouTube video and cool for some people to play. Even though obviously a lot of people could also just play Mario Kart instead of playing Breath of the Wild and playing like Mario Kart inside Breath of the Wild. But you could obviously make it so, actually it should be possible. The game should already have some system in place that can recognize whether Link is on a path or not. Don't know if you know this, but if you, for example, shield surf on a path, your shield doesn't take damage in terms of durability. So there should already be a system that can basically check if you're on a path or not. And you have to be on path for a certain percentage. That would allow you to find usable shortcuts. But let's say in order for a lap or a race to count, you have to be on the track for 90%. If you yourself have other ideas for how to make a Breath of the Wild motorcycle race mod, that could be really fun for speedrunning, let me know your thoughts, and let me know if you think this is stupid. Anyway, I just think it would be a cool idea to spice up Breath of the Wild speedrunning a little bit, do something completely different, something we've literally never done, and essentially take the Breath of the Wild game and world we love, but make kind of like a racing, speedrunning, time trials game out of it. But again, I'm curious in your opinion, if this sounds really boring to you and you think you would never play this, let me know. I think this could especially be interesting for people that like the idea of going fast but not necessarily using glitches, which I know some of you are watching this channel still. Yeah, if a lot of people say this sounds really cool, let's figure out how to make it work, and I would be interested in commissioning a mod like that. The easiest way to get it started maybe would really be the one where you are simply allowed to drive the motorcycle wherever. This should be pretty easy to do with a mod, and then maybe also add an in-game timer. I'm assuming this should be a pretty easy mod to make without having any coding experience myself. And then eventually later you could add different features like having a preset track throughout the kingdom, or having something like race completion where there's a tracker that tracks how long you are on the track, and we as a community can decide on a racetrack together. But I will update you on that specific idea after you've maybe left some comments on it. And if this does actually become real, you'll see it on my live stream, twitch.tv/limcube, and then eventually on my YouTube channel. Speaking of my YouTube channel, I don't have too much time to record today. I'm actually doing another recording for tomorrow's video today, together with Bings, who is the current 100% speedrun world record holder. I love chatting with him. He's helped me a lot with learning the 100% speedrun, and we love talking about speedrunning routes and stuff, so it should be a fun one. And then additionally, I need to finally finish editing my All Shrines ranking. I want to have that video completed in case there is a direct this week, because I would like to upload it around that time, because I'm assuming people will be interested, or will maybe have their interest rekindled in some Breath of the Wild content as Tears of the Kingdom inevitably gets even closer. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to pitch you my idea today because I've been thinking about it more recently. I tried the Hyrule Bike Channel challenge in its current state recently on stream, and I thought of this idea because I think driving fast with a motorcycle is actually surprisingly fun. That's gonna be it for today. I'm gonna be getting the Korok seed on top here and then probably dropping down to the Horse God, which is a location that we still have to get. I'm now actually thinking, this is actually going to be interesting because I feel like I keep asking people this when I speedrun and never am sure about the answer. I think I won't get... no, okay. This, you do not get the location for the Horse God unless you actually pay money to actually activate this spring. Which means I also have to make some more rupees later on in this run to actually get the fairy fountains activated. This is something I tend to forget sometimes. For now, I will still end the episode here, but I should probably go ahead and mark this place. Just like the other fairy fountains, because this is definitely something to consider later in the game. Looks like we've already gotten this fairy fountain. Looks like we have not gotten this fairy fountain. I am actually not sure if I've ever activated the Kakariko one. Doesn't look like it. And the same should be true for the one up here. So definitely gotta make some money to actually get those out of the... Well, not out of the ground, kind of just like out there. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Tomorrow you will hear me talk to Binks, the current 100% record holder. I'm also having Player 5 on later this week, the any% world record holder. And some other guests. I reached out to more people. Some of you in the comments gave great suggestions, so thank you for that. Apparently I cannot talk today. Pretty sure this is also really the first time I talk today. But yeah, I hope you excuse me. I will see you tomorrow, 94 days until Tears of the Kingdom, when the next week starts. Before you know it, we're gonna be at 50, 30, 10. So let's stay strong for this final countdown. Gonna get the hands on our game soon. Thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.